My daughter has issues if she gets words wrong on her tests.
Hmm.
She worries about whether she's done bad. She worries about being bad or wrong all the time. She's a kid who wants to do good all the time. If she
Hmm.
doesn't come home with an excellent mark or 100%, she cries for
Hmm.
hours. If we
Yeah.
don't change it for her, what can we do? What can we do to change this?
And that's a tough one too, because I feel like it's a good skill to have. It's a good life skill to have, to want to be good at things, and all of that. Although I think we all have our quirks in that area where I have to be good at this or I get really upset. But some of us have an easier time kind of tolerating, even if we are wrong. Okay, what can I learn from this and move on and apply it to the next situation that comes up. But again, you want to always look at the research first and see kind of if there's anything that's been written about this or any interventions that have been successful. But one of my first questions would be, is there like a history? What was the history of this and how did it kind of get shaped into what it is now? Would probably be a first question that I have. And also, I wonder if it depends on the type of assignment. So, for example, is it really more focused on academic tasks like math or English or those types of things? Or is it also, if I'm coloring and I make a mistake, is that really hard for me and I have to start all over? So, I think looking at what types of things you could potentially do or, work with her on, excuse me, would be starting with, are there any assignments that are maybe a little more tolerable if she does make a mistake? You start there, you provide lots of reinforcement for the tolerance there and being able to handle, okay, I made a mistake, but I'm going to try it again. So starting with assignments that maybe aren't as important to her to get something correct on. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense on that, but
No, it
um,
absolutely makes sense. I love because I hadn't even thought about that, Melissa. The whole, does she get as upset about a coloring thing as maybe a math test? Because if she doesn't, it's a great place to start with the coloring and gives us a format in
right,
which to be like, see, and we colored a little outside the line, and it's okay.
right,
So no, I totally get it.
right. Um, and then also, and it's a tough thing too. I've actually worked with a young man who had a similar difficulty with getting things wrong and those types of things. So because you want to be very careful of, you want to provide reinforcement for tolerating mistakes, but you also don't want to provide too much to where now it's reinforcing to make a mistake and get things wrong. So peer modeling is also really always a good opportunity for that. If it's happening in the school setting, you can show a friend getting something wrong and they're being okay with it. So that's always a good option too, is to have kind of, again, that socialization there. And then again, you could set things up and set some kind of assignment up to where if she does make a mistake, if she tolerates it without crying, she gets reinforcement, or even start smaller where she might whine, but maybe it doesn't develop into full blown crying. So you can start there and provide reinforcement for that type of tolerance. So, but yeah, always starting with kind of where someone is successful and building on that, because you're going to get a lot more success if you're giving reinforcement, lots of reinforcement up front, and then slowly fading it to the ones that are more difficult later on.
And you just made me think of, I keep talking on the show about we have a Pinterest board for Autism
Mm-hmm.
Live, and I've been trying to pin things that I think are really interesting because in the last 2 years, the resources that are available for autism on Pinterest are amazing. And there's some great posters that are self talk for when
Mm-hmm.
something goes wrong for kids,
Yep.
which I absolutely love. Just phrases that they can start saying to themselves about, well, I
Mm-hmm.
made a mistake, but I'm still good and I'm still doing a good job, that you can
Yep.
ask them to be doing while they're doing the thing that's less upsetting to them, so that you build that
Right.
floor. Check it out.
And it's also,
Pinterest is cool.
I love Pinterest. Yeah. And there's also kind of within this situation that black and white thinking. So is there that skill of understanding, okay, there's a gray area here somewhere. How big of a problem is this really? If it, I get everything wrong, that's a huge problem. But if I just get one or two wrong, it's really not that big a deal and I can move on from that. So
Yeah,
kind
that
of
sort of
teaching more.
thermostat. There's
Yep.
there's a lesson in skills about that, and I don't know which one it is, but there I remember them teaching my son. Here's the it looked just like a thermometer, and
Yeah.
it said, here is this a 2 or is this a 3 or is this something to be really upset about, and we still
Yeah.
talk about that.
It's,
Usually,
I mean, it's an important skill for all of us. I mean, I use that for sure. Like,
well,
how
I was
big is
gonna
this
say,
problem, Melissa, really? Yeah.
usually it's my
Yeah.
son saying to me, I'll be really upset about something, and he'll go, now, Mom, is this a 2 or is this a 7? Because in a
Right.
week, are you
This is
still going to
10.
be upset about this? And I go, oh, that good ABA.